He's been called the Zen Master of the horse world, but Buck Brannaman is better known as the true-life horse whisperer. He is now the subject of an award-winning documentary film, and early show contributor Katrina Szish is here to tell us all about it. Nice to see you this morning.
Nice to see you, too. Well, this documentary, Buck, is the work of first-time filmmaker Cindy Meehl, and it takes you into the world of Buck Brannaman and his amazing way with horses.
I don't know if I would have made it without horses. I don't know. I hate to think of it.
Everything you do with a horse, it's a dance.
Buck Brannaman has been called a sage on horseback, sharing his wisdom at horse training clinics across the country. His near-magical methods provided real-life inspiration for the novel and Robert Redford film, The Horse Whisperer.
It's not like I take a hold of a horse's ear like it's an old-fashioned telephone and speak into it, you know. But the communication with the horse really is your body language, your presence. That's why a lot of people don't get along too good with horses, because they underestimate how much he is really taking in, how much he's aware of.
Instead of using traditional methods to break a horse with whips, ropes, and fear,
You know, I'm afraid of you.
Buck believes in creating a relationship through respect and instinct.
One of the biggest challenges of a horseman is to be able to control your emotions.
A philosophy forged from a violent childhood at the hands of his abusive father.
Just to glance at him across the room might provoke him into coming and beating you up. The horses, when I first went to live with my foster parents, were my refuge. That's where I went to hide. One thing I started off with was an empathy for the horse. And then, as my understanding grew with the horses, then I started to learn how to help them. A lot of times, rather than helping people with horse problems, I'm helping horses with people problems.
That desire to help led him to train other horse owners. It was at one of his clinics that artist Cindy Meehl became a Buck convert.
I had been riding horses all my life, and I had never seen it done this way. It looks like mental telepathy of riding, like the horse is reading his thoughts, because he has established this language that's so beautiful and yet simplistic, and we can all do it.
Every movement you make on a horse, there is a perfect position of balance.
Cindy was so inspired, she wanted to make a documentary about Buck and his methods, despite having no film experience.
I went up to him and I asked him, and I thought, well, if he says no, I'm off the hook. Yeah.
And I'd said no many times over the years about people that wanted to document what I do. And she must have just caught me at the right time, and I said, well, go ahead.
Oh, I'm a lucky man.
What Cindy captured in her directorial debut, Buck, earned the Audience Award at this year's Sundance Film Festival, winning over many who have never even had a horse encounter.
I don't know what you're trying to prove.
With lessons more often about humans than horses.
And if you got a lot going on in your life, probably a lot of it's a lot bigger story than this horse.
He sneaks in all these life lessons when he's talking about horses. It's really a metaphor for people.
Sound fair?
Look at Buck's life and his transformation and realize that it doesn't matter what's happened in your past, that you too can leave that baggage behind and start today and do whatever you want.
It'll make you better in areas that you didn't think related to horses.
What you learned from Buck, did that completely change your relationship with your horses?
Totally, totally.
It's okay. There you go.
There's a new respect that we have. They're just so with you. It's such a different feeling. There's no pulling, yanking, you know, it's a dance partner, it's a glide.
Such is the legacy Buck hopes to leave to the equestrian community. What do you love most about what you do?
Well, there's been a lot of horses over the years where people would say, just so you know, this is our last stop. All I know is if it doesn't work, we're done. And thousands and thousands of horses over the years have ended up living a long life with the person once they understood each other. Everybody wins.
It's such a beautiful sentiment, and to see that it was born out of this abusive childhood, such a great message, not only to respect the horse, it applies to dogs, it applies to your children.
Yes.
Is he still traveling around and doing clinics?
You know, it's amazing. He travels 9 months out of the year. He's constantly on the road. This is his life. This isn't something he does just for the cameras. He's a true horseman. He's amazing.
And does he travel by himself? I mean, he's very soft-spoken, seems, like a fairly private guy. Is he, does he keep to himself, or does he have other folks that help him out and go with him?
He spends so much time with the people at his clinics, but he is such a family man. His wife and his daughters are such a major part of his life, as is his foster mother, Betsy Shirley, and she's just incredible.
Well, it looks like a beautiful film. Great piece,
It's
Katrina.
a wonderful piece.
Katrina, thanks.
Thank you.